Hello my friends and welcome back to another episode of the Reborn 13 podcast with the Genie. And in today's episode, man, do I have something really special lined up for all you guys, because the Genie has put some dots together which not only has blown my mind with the size and scale of what has formed and the pieces of the puzzle which has come together, but I want to do my absolute best in this podcast coming up to try and piece it together enough whereby you can go away and do your own research and realize the size of the picture that is forming to create the foundation and the basis for the decentralized finance economy to flourish and for XRP to rise above and beyond the moon, because it will be the basis and foundation upon which all the liquidity is going to flow through, all the money through a variety of different foundations and means. Now, we have so much to get through in this podcast, so I'm going to move straight into it. But I firstly want to start by saying that it is going to be a lot of information contained, so you need to be on the ball for this one, because I'm going to brush through it, but I'm going to try and do my absolute best, like I said, to link it all together for you in a brief manner whereby you can then go away and do the research yourself to dive deeper into the subject, so that you can see how much work is actually going into building this foundation upon which the entire new financial system is being built. So without further ado, we're going to move straight into this one. But firstly, my friends, it is absolutely critical that if you have not seen all of my previous videos here on XRP, you must go and do so, because it is going to be needed for you to understand what we are going to be running through in this podcast coming up. Now, really quickly, a very short disclaimer: all of this dot connecting is my own, and that you can take it or leave it, do with the information and the words that come out with my mouth as you please. When it comes to financial advice, I am not a financial advisor, so go and please seek a financial advisor if you need to do so. But let's move in to this one. Now, where are we going first? PolySign. If you guys remember, I have covered this in a previous podcast, but bear with me on this one because we are about to tie in a huge picture. So listen closely. PolySign, building the future of digital assets. PolySign develops state-of-the-art, secure, scalable infrastructure for financial institutions to fully leverage their digital assets. Now, if you remember, PolySign was created by Arthur Britto and David Schultz. Okay, keep that in mind. Groundbreaking security. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So I was doing a little bit of research, and Jack McDonald, the CEO of PolySign, Jack McDonald, if we come over to here, it is certainly interesting how number 1300 is the location of PolySign in US California. But what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, and this was interesting here. So you've got recent news about Jack McDonald, and there is this article here which is industry leaders launch PayID, the universal ID for payments. This leads you to this article right here. Now, this is where it starts to blow minds. Multinational alliance of industry leaders including GoPay, Ripple, Blockchain.com, Brave, Flutterware, Mercy Corps unveil an open source solution to unite payments reaching over 100 million consumers. This article is just incredibly bullish, as it is, because look at the names of the people who have come out publicly with regards to PayID, now known as PayString, but we're going to go into that deeper, and the way in which they're going to utilize it for the infrastructure for the global payments network that is being built. But I want to bring you down here to Mr. Jack McDonald, which says PolySign is thrilled. Now remember, PolySign is institutional grade custody, is thrilled to be partnering with global companies and non-profit to launch PayID, an exciting new identification standard that will change the way the world exchanges value. Finally, frictionless payments will become a reality. Where are we going from here to PayID? Look at this. Who uses PayString? Look at the names. Now remember, who uses PayString? PayString is PayID. It has just been updated since it was released. Here we've got PolySign. This keeps on going. Obviously, Ripple is there too. A little bit more about PayString before we dive deeper into this. Let's keep this moving. PayString in numbers. GoPay, Ripple, 120 million plus users. And this is just the beginning, my friend. 14 payment networks, 45 plus members in Open Payments Coalition, 4 of the 10 top exchanges. Now, if we go to their white paper, this is where it starts to go deep into that rabbit hole. Initially, we proposed standards with the headers specific to XRP, ACH, and ILP, Interledger Protocol Payments Network. Okay, Interledger, if you remember, Interledger is an open and inclusive payments network that puts humanity first. What is Interledger building? What are they focusing on? They're focusing on the unbanked population, micropayments, allowing those who don't have access to bank accounts to be able to become part of this new financial banking system. This is huge because this is where Mojoloop ties in. Mojoloop Foundation, philanthropic and technology organizations including Coil, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Google join as inaugural sponsors, members of the Mojoloop Foundation. Now really quickly here, because I know there's a lot of New World Order warriors listening to this, and I'm going to see the comments down below. Oh no, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Google. What you need to realize within yourself is that at the human source, the nature of ourselves, we seek to do good. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is much bigger, is way beyond just Bill and Melinda Gates, and you have to understand that if you have trust in the human spirit, that everything will work out just fine. So just because you see certain names doesn't mean it's all for this darkness of destruction who's serving this devilish like God. No, look deeper, understand the bigger picture, look outside and see into the true reality. But let's keep this going. Ripple, supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, formed a partnership with Dwolla Motorsport Software Group and Crosslake Technologies in October 2017. With funding and support from the Gates Foundation, it developed a new open source software called Mojoloop for creating a real-time interoperable payments platform on a national scale to reach the world's poor with essential financial tools. I want you to continue reading. I want you to pause and continue reading this, but for the sake of the podcast, I am not going to continue. Where do I want to go before we can move on? Really quickly, I want to bring you to here because we need to go back to PayID because it is very important. Remember, PayID is PayString. This was when PayID was first released, and this was on Twitter, and these are screenshots. So PayID is Open Payments Deb, your signaling, we BFS. What about Codius.org? Is she your crush? We sorta live together. Now remember Codius, because that is going to be a big part of this podcast. PayID is an Xpring initiative. Is there any way use of XRP? XRP is in my DNA, okay? So remember that XRP, PayID, and Codius, but we're going to come back to them. Mojoloop, how it works. Mojoloop is an open source software that serves as a reference model for creating interoperable payments platform connecting all digital financial providers and customers, especially the financially excluded. Look at this. Payments models for meeting the digital financial needs of the world's 1.7 billion unbanked people. Now, Mojoloop Hub, this is very technical, but what I want you to understand is that if Mojoloop is interconnected with Interledger and with PayID, which is all based upon the XRPL, ILP and XRP, including PolySign, then this central settlement has a very, very, very likelihood that it is going to be XRP. This is where it starts to blow minds, my friends, so bear with me. If you are enjoying this podcast so far, make sure to smash that like button, because we are not finished just yet. This came out very recently, only a couple days ago. The headline looks dismal from the start, but bear with me. SEC announced it will not tackle cryptocurrency regulation this year, but I found this quote very interesting, okay? To the extent that something is a security, the SEC has a lot of authority, and a lot of crypto tokens, I won't call them cryptocurrency for this moment, are indeed security. This is where it starts to blow you away, because if you remember my tweet just here, it is literally a win-win with XRP from every angle you look at it. Declared a security, it becomes a derivative security in the asset of the 1+ quadrillion market. Declared a non-security, it becomes a supranational currency which functions as a basis of the new financial system. Now, remember from my Kendra Hill podcast, if you haven't seen that, you must go and check that out, because this is where Codius comes in. We were told the true intentions of Ripple are to handle 100% transactions which will take place in the derivatives market, so a derivative security. What is Codius? Okay, XRP and Codius are going to be used to manage the entire $1 quadrillion derivatives market. XRP is not a currency, it's a store of value, digital gold. XRP was never intended to be a currency. Remember how this is all linking in because of the fact that PolySign, PayID, which is interlinked with Codius, as we just saw from my tweet. This is where it starts to go even deeper, my friends, so stay with me. So if you remember in my previous podcast, I showed you Ripple proposes massive XRP ledger upgrade to support DeFi and smart contract capabilities, which is this article right here. Now, this is all about Codius for you OGs. This will enable developers to implement new features such as native smart contracts that interoperate seamlessly with XRP and the XRP ledger, or even creating a private parallel network for permissionless blockchain. Here's where your mind is going to be blown into a new stratosphere. Amazon could definitely use XRP's ledger's federated sidechain, according to Ripple CTO. Now remember, Ripple plans to accomplish this through the use of federated sidechains, according to David Schultz. Now, Amazon, okay? Amazon could potentially use XRP Ledger's federated sidechain for its blockchain service, according to Ripple Chief Technology Officer David Schultz. Remember who told us years ago about the Amazon and Ripple partnership, because it is all plans within plans. It's all linked to Codius, which links back to PayID, which goes all the way into XRP, which links in to the Mojoloop Foundation, back in to Interledger, back in all the way to PolySign, my friends. Can you see the size of this picture? But we're not done there. I'm bringing you to this article here. The crypto economy prepares for its broadband moment. Now, this was only released again a couple days ago, but I want to read you something here. There are key pieces of infrastructure that have to fall into place that kind of light up this around the world. What I'm showing you is that infrastructure, my friends. Now, this doesn't stop here, because this gets even more mind-blowing. This only was released just yesterday. Central Bank, World Bank backed AFIN launches CBDC sandbox with R3. There has been an increased interest in deployment of blockchain technologies, which has created strong demand for more efficient international payment settlements compatible with these technologies. Now, we all know R3 is a user of XRP, not that they are making it clear for the public eye, but those who know. R3 launches universal settler application to facilitate global payments on Corda XRP, the first settlement mechanism. Now look at the ecosystem of R3. R3 is the Trojan horse. Now if we look at that previous document, you realize that in their official demo of the settlement, we have the XRP network. Can you see the size of what is unfolding? I want to read you this tweet here by myself. Lots of hype around other coins currently. Many do they have the potential, but none will outdo the king. The first prize goes to those who can see auspicious plans, and you're a part of it. How intriguing. First prize, my friends. Keep your eye on the prize. This is all going down to position XRP as king. Now this was very interesting from NASA 5A9. I'm going to leave you with what you will to do with that. Breaking: chairwoman announces digital assets working group, US House Committee on Financial Services. My friends, it is all going down. Can we discuss how the stock market, which is owned by ICE Intercontinental Exchange, is now transitioning to becoming tokenized via backed? Nothing to see here. And I want to leave you with this, my friends. Open your eyes. I am gonna start wrapping it up there, my friends. I did say that I would read your comments in this podcast, but this picture which formed in my head was so vast and so big, I didn't foresee how much I would have to go through in this podcast. So I promise you, in the next podcast, I am going to be replying to all of your comments. I will make the time to fit them in, so be sure that they are coming. But if you have enjoyed this podcast, my friends, make sure to leave a like down below, and also any comments, suggestions or questions that you have, leave them down in the comments below, because I'm going to utilize those comments as well in the next podcast, so I can run through all of your questions and hopefully help bring that picture within your mind together so that you can see the size of what is currently unfolding. Remember, my friends, if you want to participate in this great wealth transfer, you can come over to my website www.reborn13.com and you can become a master of the cryptoverse, where I run you step by step how to get set up and be able to purchase, store and trade all of your crypto assets so that you are ready and in place for this amazing opportunity that is before us. But if you want to learn more just about the financial markets, understand yourself better and be positioned in the best way possible for this coming market boom ahead, then become a commander of your financial destiny as well. And you can come over to my website and obviously read all of my previous reviews. And if you want to support the Genie on any level, you can come and do so on my Patreon. All links are going to be down below in the description. But finally, you guys, make sure that you are subscribed for more content just like this to come, because the Genie is going to continue to open your minds to this picture at play. But I'm going to bring it to a close here, my friends. I hope you have enjoyed this, and I love you all for your support, especially if you have made it to this point in the video. But I'm going to wrap it up there so that this podcast isn't too long. I'm going to bring it to a close. I thank you all so much for listening, for clicking on my videos. Make sure to follow me on all my social medias, my Twitter at Reborn13, my Instagram at Reborn13, and join my Telegram group, Genie Reborn with a 0. But I'm going to bring it to a close, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye.